If I don't do a medical exam, they say, Trump's not doing an exam. I'm the only one that took a cognitive test. Standing in the White House, I wouldn't be in the White House except for Barack Obama because they did a bad job, Biden and Obama. And if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here.
Sometimes a challenge doesn't even sound like a challenge anymore. It sounds more like somebody holding up a mirror to a man who's spent years telling everyone how brilliant he is. And that's exactly what the room felt like when Barack Obama took one of Donald Trump's favorite talking points and turned it into a question nobody could really ignore. Obama wasn't yelling, he wasn't being dramatic, and he didn't need to wave papers around to make the point land. He just stood there with that calm little half smile, the kind where you already know the punchline is coming, and reminded everyone how many times Trump had called himself a genius. Not just smart or successful, but a very stable genius. And the way he said it was quiet, almost casual. But everybody in the room understood where this was going, because suddenly the joke stopped being a joke and started sounding like a real test. Obama basically said if someone spends that much time talking about IQ, memory, mental sharpness, and cognitive tests, then maybe the country deserves more than another post or another brag. Maybe it deserves an actual answer. No rally crowd, no friendly interviewer, no people cheering every line. Just Donald Trump sitting at a table with a pencil and a televised test in front of him.
His second-term plan is to fire that guy. I mean, they've already said they're not going to contain the pandemic. Now they want to fire the one person who could actually help them contain the pandemic. So
the audience was already reacting before Barack Obama even finished the thought, because the idea itself was so simple, and honestly, that's what made it hit so hard. For years, Donald Trump had used intelligence like a weapon. He threw it at opponents, reporters, former presidents, basically anybody who challenged him. But this time Obama flipped the whole thing around on him. He basically said if Trump wants to keep making brain power part of the public conversation, then fine. Put the claim out in the open where everyone can see it. And the way Obama said it made it even sharper because there was no cruelty in it. He framed it almost like he was doing the country a favor, like this was some simple act of public service. Same test, same room, same rules, same clock ticking for both men. No campaign staff standing nearby feeding answers, no late-night social media victory laps before anything even happens, no spinning the results afterward. Just two people sitting down and answering questions. And then Obama dropped the line that completely froze the room. If Donald Trump truly believes he has the greatest mind in politics, then what exactly is stopping him from proving it where everybody can watch?
So the president, when I was in there, helped me deal with Ebola and H1N1, was one of the people who was at the front lines of dealing with HIV/AIDS, one of the world's leading experts on infectious disease, one of the few people in this administration who's been taking this seriously all along. And what
he should not fear a question sheet. That one line spread everywhere almost instantly. Clips were all over social media, supporters were laughing, critics kept replaying it, and commentators started calling it classic Barack Obama because it had that same familiar style, calm on the outside, sharp underneath. But for Donald Trump, it hit a very specific nerve, that uncomfortable space between image and proof. And that's really where everything shifted. Trump responded immediately, but not with an agreement. Not with a date, not with some calm sure, let's do it live. He came back with insults instead. He called Obama overrated, weak, fake, desperate for attention, and kept insisting nobody had ever tested better than him, while somehow still avoiding the one thing people were actually asking: would he take the challenge or not? The response was loud, but honestly, the emptiness inside it felt even louder. People started noticing the pattern right away. He said he had nothing but sounded like someone trying to prove everything. He claimed Obama was jealous, yet spent all his energy reacting to Obama. He mocked the challenge, but never actually answered it. And in politics, the thing someone refuses to answer usually becomes bigger than anything they actually say. Obama came back to the topic with that same relaxed smile, never raising his voice, never sounding rattled. He just pointed out that insults are not scores, nicknames are not results, and confidence by itself is not evidence. Then he said if Trump really wanted to end the conversation, he could do it in one afternoon. Sit down, take the test, release the results, and let the country decide. And people loved it because it was so simple. No giant investigation, no committee hearings, no complicated legal arguments, just one chair, one clock, and one completed paper. The more Obama simplified the whole thing, the smaller Trump's reaction started to look. Then Obama painted the scene in a way that had the crowd laughing while still making a serious point. He joked that the proctor would ask the first question and Trump would probably ask if the room was fair. By the second question, he'd want to know who picked the test maker. By the third, maybe the timer would suddenly be biased, and by the fourth, He'd announced that a lot of people were already saying he won anyway. Everybody laughed, but underneath the joke was the real point. Obama didn't need Trump to fail. The point was that Trump had built so much of his public image around winning comparisons that never actually happened. Biggest crowds, best words, strongest mind, greatest memory. But a real test cuts through all of that. It doesn't care about branding or volume or confidence. It just asks for answers. And by the end of it, Obama had done something way sharper than throwing an insult. He took Trump's favorite claim and turned it into something measurable.